So, right. Hello, I'm Dale from Dale's Gig Reviews and Metallaville Online Magazine, and you're Thomas Ian Nicolas.
Yes, I am.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You as well.
I enjoyed your performance. I'd say I enjoyed your performance, but not from a photography point of view, because there's only so much you can do with a man and a guitar. I can make you look pretty, because you're a very good-looking chap.
I left my pyrotechnics back in the States. They wouldn't let them through customs.
Oh dear. So how long have you been singing solo?
I've been doing both. I've been touring internationally for 18 years.
Wow.
I did 10 years prior to that, just like around LA and drivable sort of stuff. But the show varies depending on what's available.
Yeah.
So I have 12 different bands in 12 different parts of the world.
Good, great.
So I've got, an English band, a Welsh band here in the UK. I've got an Austrian band, an Australian band. You name the part of the world, I could put a band together there. But sometimes, like on the Wheatus tour, Brendan basically said, we've got 17 people on a bus, we have one bunk left. If you want to do the tour, you do it by yourself. I said, let's go.
Yeah? Oh, that's brilliant, because you're down as Thomas Nicolas Band.
Well, yes, but that is so if you search my name, you're going to find my movie stuff. If you search my name and add band on the end, you find my music. So that way it differentiates the two different aspects of my career.
Yeah. What I loved about your performance, every man and a guitar, they're generally good, and they all sound relatively similar. You stood out because your songwriting, your lyrics, there's a large fun element in what you've written, and we all could relate to it because it's familiar songs we can sing along to, but then you've got your fun lyrics. How did you come up with that idea?
I've been writing songs. I released my 7th album a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
The first album came out in 2008. I don't count the first 3 before that. So and then there's one in between. I'm really at 12 albums, but forget all that. I just write what I know and what I experience, and the last album, We're Gonna Be Okay, that Taylor Carroll produced, was probably the most raw and open and honest that I've ever been.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where it came from, opening up. I remember Zach Barnett from the American Authors popped into the studio one day, and he goes, we started writing a song together randomly, because Taylor's like, oh, listen to this, and then he starts humming a melody, and before I know it, I'm writing with the lead singer of American Authors.
Yeah.
And I wrote a line, and I go, oh, I can't say that. He goes, why? I go, it's too personal. He goes, then you have to say it. So that was kind of the basis of the album, was getting too personal. Yeah. The next album, I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with.
Right.
Because it's just been so much fun on the road, so I want to share that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Brendan. He wrote Lemonade, which is a very personal song about being cheated on, breaking up. And when I interviewed him, I says, but you're going to be singing that song for the rest of your career, and you're going to be reminded of that pain for the rest of your career. And he was like, yeah. Are you in the same sort of thing with what you've written?
Yeah, I've got songs like that from my first album that I just don't play live anymore.
Fair enough. What about the latest stuff?
It's all recent. It's only a year and a half. So, I'm not 10 years from now. But I will say that the way I approached it is, even though it was very personal, I think because it was so personal, it was relatable.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people come up to me at shows or message me online telling me that, the album has helped them through some of their mental health challenges.
Yeah.
So in that regard, if it reopens a wound for me, but it helps someone else, then that's okay.
Well, I get that. So I did a video about my mental health, my disabilities, how it's affected me for the last 2 years. And I did it and I put it out there, and it was scary putting that personal thing out there.
Right.
And then after, I felt really guilty because I've got friends who are going through worse things, and here I am, I'm moaning because my knee hurts and my back hurts, and it's affecting me, boo-hoo, that sort of thing. But then people have come to me and said, that was amazing, it's really helped me, and because you're looking at things positively and getting out there. And that meant the difference to me, and I stopped beating myself up about it.
Yeah.
Were you the same with that sort of writing process? Did you feel like you're just whining, and then other people have said?
I think I'm not the type of person that's whining and complaining, so it was never my concern in that regard. But I think that there's an element of we all try to put our best face forward, like kind of like leading that Instagram life, but in our real life.
Yeah.
And then we find it weird, especially in songwriting. If you do that in songwriting, then no one relates to it, and then you wonder, oh, why don't people like my melodies?
Yeah.
But there's something really beautiful about being honest, and you literally just described finding that beauty in honesty.
Yeah.
And I think people are so overwhelmed with entertainment and social media that honesty is like a breath of fresh air, and if you're brave enough to do it, it helps others be brave enough to do it too, and then we can just all be honest and beautiful together.
Yeah. Well, we've got a UK band that's just starting called Fireheart, and they're basing a lot of their music on mental health, and they've all like dedicated heart colours to their challenges, and a big fan base is relating to that. And so if your latest music is to do with that, are you finding you're getting newer fans and listening to your music and growing an audience around that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the things I'm doing, especially next year, this year it started with Wheatus, but one of the things and Zebrahead, but one of the things I'm focused on doing next year is opening up for a lot of my friends' bands. I've spent 18 years headlining shows, and I want to find new audiences.
Yeah.
And I think the easiest way or the best way is to play shows with my friends' bands that are willing to have me. So I'm going to Australia with Wheatus as well. I've got shows lined up with Lit, Fuel, Switchfoot, hopefully with the early November and Hello Goodbye.
Yeah.
So a lot of like amazing bands that I love that are my friends to get out there and get in front of more people that may have not heard of my band.
Yeah. Well, that's good then. How did you meet Wheatus?
Man, Brendan and I were talking about this the other night. The first time that Brendan came into like the ether of like my sort of sphere was in 2012. I did my first UK tour, and I had my support act was a Welsh band called Straight Jacket Legend.
Right.
They had hired Brendan to do a guitar solo on one of their tracks.
Right.
So Brendan and I started chatting on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I helped like push the track and retweeted, then tagged Brendan, and then we started chatting. So that's like the first time that we kind of like connected. But as far as being in person, I think it might have just been they have the same agent, UK agent as Bowling for Soup.
Right.
And I came over here 3 years ago with Bowling for Soup to do their makeup dates. They did one in Torquay and then one in Birmingham. No, Birmingham was the country act. Well, they did like the Belfast, Dublin, and Torquay. And those were makeup dates from the previous tour with Lit.
Yeah.
So I guess stood in place for Lit because it was hard to just do 3 shows. Met the agent, we hit it off because he'd known Bowling for Soup, and Wheatus was one of their first acts that he ever represented.
Yeah.
So then Brendan did that like 47 date tour.
Wow.
Here in the UK, and I saw they were touring. I was in the same area, and so I hit up Ed, and I was like, "Hey, can you connect us? I want to see if I can jump on a show in Portland, Oregon."
Yeah.
And so he did, and Brendan said yes, and that's where we met in person. I think it was Portland, Oregon last January.
Wow.
Or no, last summer. I don't know when it was.
And now you're
Somewhere.
getting intimate in a tour bus with them all, and, and going around the world. Really, that's incredible. A lot of people might know you from your film work. I know you from one piece of film work. I might look at other things and go, "Oh, that's him I was talking to." You're the bartender who caught the baby in Ice Nine Kills.
Yes.
I
know, and Ice Nine is playing
right
tonight,
now,
like literally at the arena.
Why couldn't they done it on a different day and I could go and see them as well?
I had texted Spencer and I was like, we both agreed that it would be silly for us to be in the same city in another country and not see one another.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up till 2 p.m. today. So by the time I texted Spencer, like our lunch plans were out the fucking door. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I did, my photographer is a big fan.
Yeah.
So I worked out a photo pass for him and he was just through the moon.
Yeah.
So he shot my show and then he's like, I gotta go.
I'm sorry, I would have done the same. I would have,
Fair.
Ice Nine Kills and Bowling for Soup are the 2 bands I'm desperate to interview, and because I love them both so much, and you can't get more different bands really.
Yeah, for sure.
It's yeah. So again, how did you know Ice Nine Kills? Or?
Spencer's like casting director for the video. She had also cast and girlfriend. She had also cast the Bring Me the Horizon video, Lost.
Yeah.
So I got a phone call about that, and so that Ollie Sykes stabbed me in the eye with a syringe as he's escaping from a brain surgery that he wakes up from in the beginning of the video. So that's kind of how I connected in that camp, was doing that video. And then when the Ice Nine Kills video came about, I got the son of a similar phone call, and I said, what am I doing? They said, catching a baby that Art the Clown cuts out. I was like, what time do I have to be there? I don't even understand what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, we are massive Art the Clown fans as well. You know, I wore Art the Clown costume at Download Festival this year.
Sick.
So I'm on my mobility scooter and scaring the hell out of people.
Perfect.
Fantastic. So which do you prefer, your singing or your film work?
Both. I mean, I like them both, and I still do both. I've got a TV show that's available on Amazon here in the UK called Underdeveloped. We're negotiating with a few companies for season 2.
Yeah.
I just announced a film with Mark Pellegrino, who's in Supernatural. That we're gearing up to shoot when I get back. Well, we might try to squeeze some in between the 2 Wheatus tours. We might have to push back now till February. But I'm the boss, so I can do whatever I want. It's called Outsider, and it's going to be based in the human trafficking sort of backdrop, but focused more on the organ harvesting.
Yeah.
But obviously, our goal with it is, I've been wanting to, with my next film projects, do something that has more legacy and affects the greater good, and isn't just like, let's make a film that's good, that's an entertaining story, and it's and it's revered and gets the accolades, whatever. That's cool. But if it can also have a positive effect in another realm, so we're going to work with organizations for like making people aware of human trafficking and getting them aware that maybe it's more a part of your life, or you're supporting it in a way that you don't really know. Kind of like, do you know that everything that you buy is fair trade? Because I don't. I didn't even really start thinking about that until I took on this project. So
oh, sounds interesting. Going back to your run about with the Ice Nine Kills, Bring Me the Horizon, that you're all in the same camp. It has to be said, is it a band camp? Sorry, I did go there. I did go there. At band camp. I had to go there. But so future projects, you said you're working on an album that you're going to be doing a bit more fun to relate with what's happening. A film in process and a TV series. So it sounds like you're a very busy man.
Yes, I drink a lot of coffee and get a lot of sleepless nights, I should say.
Well, my beautiful lady Tracy, she always gives me a question to ask at the end of interviews. So I've got to ask it. Tell us something the UK audiences don't know about you.
Well, they don't know about my film Adverse because we never got UK distribution.
Right.
We had to choose between a UK distributor and a US distributor because they were fighting over the release date of the film. And Lionsgate wanted the US and Canada, unfortunately a larger territory than the UK distributor. So this film with Mickey Rourke hasn't come out here.
Wow.
And it's one of the things I'm the most proud of as far as my acting and producing.
And we can't watch it.
And you can't watch it unless you illegally stream it. And I'm not saying you should, but if you want to watch it in the UK, that's the only way you can.
Wow, that's incredible. But, thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate the chat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.